Wrestling Rampage here, back with another video.
We are back with another video. This is Wrestling Rampage. Make sure you like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Wrestling Rampage 2. Follow us on Twitter at Wrestle Rampage. And make sure you hit that little subscribe button for us. We would really appreciate it because we got all these videos for you guys that we're going to be doing. We got unboxings, top 10s, reviews, DVD reviews, pay-per-view reviews, prediction videos. It goes on and on right here on Wrestling Rampage. We do everything right here, so make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 10 video, of course, by the title, The Top 10 Best Commentators of All Time.
Yes.
And without further ado, we'll go in and do number 10, which is, oh my God, Joey Styles.
Yes, Joey Styles. The first guy to ever do a whole entire pay-per-view by himself with no color guy was Joey Styles. And to me, Joey Styles, and he knew everything about the moves. He knew every move that the wrestlers did. He
Very knowledgeable about the wrestlers themselves.
Yes. And then after ECW folded, got called up to the WWE, did a little commentating there. And then he got bumped off WrestleMania, and
he even got bumped off of Backlash for some reason.
Yeah, and then he now works for WWE.com and does a lot of good things there.
Joey Styles was one of those guys who had the high energy voice. One of the guys who didn't care about being in the big time. He was happy with working in ECW. Being one of the only guys there to do a whole pay-per-view by himself, he was very knowledgeable about moves, about wrestlers, about pretty much everything, and his patented "Oh my God" and cat fight,
yeah,
going to WWE and doing relatively okay there, except for getting bumped off pay-per-views for some reason. But, I always enjoyed Joey Styles on commentary in ECW. One of the main reasons why I watched ECW.
Yeah.
Original ECW. Number 9 is Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yes, Jesse Ventura, former wrestler.
Yes.
Turned commentator for injuries. Injuries.
And that's another avenue that makes Jesse the Body Ventura a little different. Is Joey Styles was a commentator, commentator. Jesse the Body Ventura had a different avenue where he was a professional wrestler. He would say, "Oh, I would have done it this way,"
yeah.
or he should have done this, and it just brought a different dynamic into commentating.
Yes. And Jesse Ventura was funny on commentary.
Oh, yes.
He got himself over and the talent over both. He was just a great commentator. He done good things in WCW as commentating, and he done great things in the WWF as a commentator. Making up certain things like the Jesse the Body Award. Yeah.
Which I don't really think it even existed, but it was something to get Rick Rude over. It's a certain way to get certain talent over, and that's one thing that lacks in today's commentating. I always enjoyed Jesse, and I'm sorry about nowadays his health is deteriorating, and but he was always a good commentator. I wasn't a big fan of him wrestling though. But,
yeah, in commentating, he was great.
He was great as a commentator. But, I'm sorry to hear about his, his health issues that he's having lately. But, the body...
That's right.
The Body Rocks Tonight, or whatever the fucking song was that he made in the 80s. But, leads us into number 8, which is also a former professional wrestler. Which later on he becomes a professional wrestler again for a couple of years, but Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig.
Mr. Perfect on commentary is fucking hilarious. He got talent over and says, "Oh, he's great, but he's not quite perfect." And everything else, and the pen, the pencil, you grab it,
Hold on.
flip it.
I got a little pen here. I'm gonna try this. Perfect.
The gum smack. He was just. I remember on one of the superstars, fucking Matt and Jeff Hardy are doing the job. It was Matt and Jeff.
About Isaac Yankem. You remember that? Yeah,
Isaac Yankem. He's got summer teeth. Some are yellow, some are brown, some are missing. It was just fucking funny.
And then I remember the one where he did where Ahmed Johnson was beating up the guy, and he goes, "Yeah, go for it." And then he started getting beat up, and he goes, "Oh, this guy's terrible."
Yeah. When he's up, he's down. When he's good, he's bad.
But
when he's up, he's down. When he's up, he's good. When he's down, he's bad.
It's just so, he always made me laugh on commentary, and that's one reason why I enjoy Mr. Perfect on commentary. But another guy who can give his input with what he thought he should have done, but I always enjoyed Mr. Perfect. Yeah. Whether it was wrestling, commentary, or anything he did, I always enjoyed Mr. Perfect.
Yep.
Number 7 is the Louisville Slugger, Jim Cornette.
Jim Cornette, he was a manager, so he knew a lot of stuff about wrestling he can do. You should have done it this way, you should have done it that way. And his commentary was fucking great. Jim Cornette was one of the best commentators in the WCW and the WWF. He even worked with Shane McMahon on Heat, and they were a pretty good commentating team. And Jim Cornette, he speaks his mind. That's one thing I like about it.
Yeah,
he's a hell of a commentator.
He wasn't afraid to say what he thought or what everybody else was thinking too.
Yeah.
And that's one thing why I enjoyed Jim Cornette on commentary. He was always a unlike Joey Styles, where Joey Styles would get excited about it, Jim Cornette would kind of downplay it. He sucks, but he's in there. But Jim Cornette was really good on commentary.
Yeah.
Coming in from a different avenue, unlike actual wrestling, he was a manager, which managers always had their thinking caps on. So, he would be like, well, I would have my client do this,
yeah,
instead of I would have done this or I would have done that. But Jim Cornette was great. Another great. Came from WCW. I know he had a little stint in WWE. But number 6 is Tony Schiavone.
Yes, Tony Schiavone, a great fucking commentator. A lot of WCW moments from Tony Schiavone, I remember Tony Schiavone, him working with Dave Crockett in the old 80s.
When he had the mustache.
In the NWA, yeah, fucking awesome. And Tony Schiavone's favorite fucking segment to me was fucking the Kevin Nash and Hollywood Hogan, the Finger Poker dude. What's going on here? What's this about? To me, Tony Schiavone is a great commentator.
And I enjoy Tony because of what he was always excited. He was always pumped up when you see him.
Yes, he would always be hyped and pumped for Nitro or Thunder.
He'd be like, tonight's going to be one of the most historic nights in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Most of the time it wasn't because it was WCW.
Same thing on pay-per-views.
Most of the time when it was on Nitro or pay-per-views, they just did the same old shit. They would have the fucking old guys with the broken hips there. But, I mean, Tony would try to get it over.
Yeah, he'll try to get him over the best he could. The guy's about 40 or 50 years old. He'll try to get him over the best he could. But Tony Schiavone, a hell of a good commentator.
And we're gonna do number 4 and number 5 together, just for the simple fact of most people remember them together.
Yes.
And the number 5 is the manager. He was a former manager, and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Yes.
Number 4 is Gorilla Monsoon, a former professional wrestler. If you guys ever watched Primetime Wrestling...
Yes. If you ever watched Primetime Wrestling in the 80s with Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan making you laugh, They were fucking hilarious. Like
some of the matches that they had on primetime.
some of the matches, like I give a fuck about Jerry Allen versus fucking Tito Santana or something.
Like I give a rat's ass about Virgil versus Jim Powers.
Yeah. Or something like that. And fuck, all I wanted to see was fucking Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan make jokes and wisecracks. Okay, they were fucking hilarious. And Royal Rumble 92 was fucking awesome. Like, just watch Royal Rumble 92 and Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan just made you fucking laugh, okay?
Yeah.
Any WrestleMania 8, it could be whatever, as long as it's somewhere in 92.
92 was a real big year, especially for the pay-per-views for Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon on commentary.
They were fucking hilarious.
I enjoyed it. I loved WrestleMania 8.
Yeah.
I loved WrestleMania 8. Even though some people say that it's one of the worst. I loved WrestleMania 8. You know, when Tito came out as Al Matador and they're playing the bullfight music and Gorilla Monsoon's like, I love that music.
And fucking Bobby would like, probably like hot sauce too.
Well, heartburn.
Yeah, probably like heartburn too. Yeah.
But
it was just fucking funny. Fucking Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon are fucking the best commentators.
Rightfully so, to take their place in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I always enjoyed their commentary. It just made me laugh all the time. You know, when Gorilla passed away, you could tell that Bobby was real emotional on that Nitro.
Yeah.
When he announced Gorilla's death.
And WCW kind of didn't want Bobby to do it, and I was like, well, why the fuck not? You know, like, show some fucking respect there, fucking Vince Russo or whatever the fuck you're running that goddamn shitty fucking WCW. I remember what were you gonna have, 3 count come out or something?
That's probably what they would have had.
Look, I'd rather hear Bobby talk about Gorilla Monsoon than fucking watch a 3 count match or whatever the fuck you're gonna put on there.
It was terrible.
Fucking Quee-wee or something.
Bobby Heenan, you know, a guy who can turn a phrase.
Yes.
You know, and Gorilla's a straight man. You know,
yes.
like, will you stop? You know, you know, don't do that and stuff like that. You know,
be serious.
Yeah, will you be serious?
Fucking awesome.
Just one of the greatest tandems in commentating history. I don't care what anybody says. You can't really top Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. But number 3 is good old JR Jim Ross.
Yes, Jim Ross, probably one of the best commentators of this era. You know, Jim Ross started in UWF, worked for Bill Watts, then he moved on to the NWA, worked with WCW, and then he came to the WWF and worked on WrestleMania 9, his first fucking
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania broadcast
debut.
Yeah, debut. Fucking, he's wearing a toga and all this, and then he said the big thing was doing commentary with Randy Savage and Bobby Heenan. Now that was the big highlight. So, and to me, Jim Ross is one of the best commentators of all time. You know, he was always into it, and you know, all his catchphrases, slobber knocker, he whooped his hair like a government mule.
He ran like a scalded dog.
And fucking,
by God!
Yeah, fucking, oh, you stop at a mud hole and walk it dry. It was fucking awesome.
You know, I know that, you know, like, you know, Vince Russo wanted to keep him off TV because
his Bell's palsy.
Because of his face and everything. You know what? Because when Jim Ross came out, or Jim Ross was there, people fucking clapped for Jim Ross because he was fucking good.
Yeah, because they respected what he did because he was good. That's why. That's the reason.
Jim Ross was one of the best commentators, especially for modern wrestling.
To me, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler are the second best commentary team next to Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
Yes, you know, every Monday night, you know, our bedtime used to be 9 when we were younger, and you know, our parents would let us stay up on Monday nights just to watch Raw.
Yes.
And, you know, sometimes the Raws wasn't that good, sometimes they were, but you always got a kick out of Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler on commentary.
Yes.
You know, because Jerry's the guy who made the wisecracks, and Jim Ross was so passionate about what he did. He was so serious in what he did that it was comedy gold.
Yes, and I'm glad Jim Ross is in the Hall of Fame. He deserves it.
That's right. Another guy who deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, but I doubt will never get his opportunity to be in the Hall of Fame, is number 2, Lance Russell.
Yes, Lance Russell, you know, he worked for USWA. You know, he was a great fucking commentator. He worked for NWA. He was just a fucking great commentator. Like, if y'all know about the South, you know, Lance Russell is probably...
If you know about Memphis wrestling and the USWA, then you know who Lance Russell is.
Yes, Lance Russell is probably the best commentator here in the South. You know, he should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. And he was probably one of the best commentators.
Working with Dave Brown.
Yes.
They did commentary for 30 years.
Yes.
Of Memphis wrestling. And it's just... Like, there's no other milestone that can hit that. I mean, you know...
You can ask Jerry Lawler and all the guys that was there with Lance Russell, and they'll tell you Lance Russell is one of the greatest commentators of all time.
Lance Russell, I know that Jerry Lawler picked Lance Russell to put him in the Hall of Fame, but Kevin Dunn put the kibosh on that.
With his Bucky Beaver fucking teeth and his pencil sharpener hair. Fucking put it... No one's going to know who Lance Russell is.
You know,
fuck you, Bucky Beaver, motherfucker. Why don't you take that production truck and shove it up your fucking cooch?
But Lance Russell deserves his spot. He was great at what he did. Just like number 1.
Yes.
Who is in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Thank goodness. I thought Kevin Dunn would be like, no, it's gone. No. Yes.
Which is Gordon Solie.
Yes, the late great Gordon Solie, one of the greatest commentators of all time.
The Dean of Professional Wrestling.
Yes, the Dean of Professional Wrestling is Gordon Solie. You know, he knew all the moves. He got great. He would make the storyline mean something. Okay.
You know, instead of oh, he busted him open, he's making him bleed.
Yeah, his face is a crimson mask, and instead of a vertical suplex, it's a vertical suplex. And it was fucking funny. And all that. It was fucking great. Like, Gordon Solie's one of the greatest commentators of all time.
He had the raspy voice.
Yes.
And it worked. Gordon Solie, no doubt about it, is the best commentator of all time.
Yes.
If you're watching this video and you don't know who Gordon Solie is, you need to look him up on YouTube. Watch some of his commentary. His commentary.
Do it the same with all these guys. If you don't know who they are.
Yes. And tell me that Gordon Solie, like, I'd beat the dog shit out of you if you tell me that Byron Saxton is better than Gordon Solie.
Yeah.
I would beat the dog shit out of you. Just for that fucking simple fucking little opinion that you made. Because there's no doubt about it that Gordon Solie is the greatest announcer. Well, the greatest commentator of all time.
Yes.
And, you know, if you don't know who he is, you know, you probably weren't around then. He'd done a lot of stuff in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. He even did some stuff in the 90s and early 90s. Until he did tragically pass away. You know, he was a great commentator, and especially for the NWA, because the NWA was a different side of wrestling.
Yes.
You know, he brought back old school. His voice was old school, which is what NWA needed, and it just worked so well.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, if you don't agree with our list, let us know in the comments below who you think is the best commentators of all time. Because we would love to hear your guys' opinions on this. Make sure that you like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Wrestling Rampage 2. Follow us on Twitter at Wrestle Rampage. Hit that subscribe button because we have other great videos coming to you guys. We got different videos coming to you guys, top 10s, reaction videos, unboxings, DVD reviews, pay-per-view reviews, prediction videos, you name it, we got it here on Wrestling Rampage. And we hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you guys do, give us a big thumbs up for this video if you enjoy this video. Wrestling Rampage is that cream, and that cream rises to the top. That's right, the cream of the crop.
And nobody does it better.